At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Welcome in to Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, SiriusXM Channel 375, all of our great radio affiliates around the country. Hanging out with Bleck and Abdalla live from Chicago each and every day on the air until 3 Eastern. You can always call and text the show at 310-840-4910. Over the weekend, we had two more teams in the NFL report to camp, the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. And Abdalla, we have everyone in football reporting tomorrow to training camp. So here we go. Football season is alive and well, and we are talking football to get the show started today.
Yeah, we got press conferences. We got new deals being signed. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's finally here. The dog days of summer, but it also means football is finally back. Training camp, guys sweating, guys going through the motions of training camp. It's awesome. Pretty soon, in like 10 days, we've got a football game. We've got the Hall of Fame game between the Panthers and the Cardinals. And football on your TV. That's right. Football on your TV with a quarterback with fresh paper, Jacoby Brissett signs a new deal. You didn't want him to. You didn't want him to get new money.
That's not right.
You don't want a man to get a raise.
No.
You don't want, in this free market economy, a man to get new money. But guess what? The Cardinals said, that's right, Jacoby. You deserve, if we're going to have one win, if we're going to have 2 wins, you deserve more money to sit here and take those losses. And Jacoby Brissett gets new money, $15 million for the 1 year. No extra years on the deal, just more money.
Does it feel good to mislead our great audience here on Westwood One Sports?
You just said you didn't know why they would do something like that.
No. What I pushed back against the entire conversation with Jacoby Brissett came true. 100%. He's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. You're not going to get paid like a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
End of story. He did get more money. Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
I have nothing against that. That's great. I'm glad he got some more cash. But if you look at the quarterbacks in the NFL, what they're getting paid this upcoming season, that money that he will get, the 15 mil guaranteed, right? It's 15 and a half guaranteed that he's getting this upcoming season, 15.5.
Yeah.
That falls behind Malik Willis at 22 and a half.
But that's not the point. The point is...
I'm not done talking.
Yeah.
The only guys that are getting paid less for this upcoming season are the group of quarterbacks that are still playing on their rookie deals.
Of course.
So there's some guys who are on the 5th-year option, like C.J. Stroud. There are guys who are entering their 4th season, like Caleb Williams, Drake May.
Yeah.
You also have a player like Bryce Young, who's yet to sign the new contract. You've got guys like Cam Ward and Justin Fields, who's a backup. Fernando Mendoza just got his new contract. He's getting 14.3.
That's
Kirk Cousins getting paid 11.3. He is getting paid like a backup quarterback,
that's fine.
Which he is.
That's fine.
That's exactly it.
But when he was holding out or holding in or whatever and only making $5 million and Carson Beck was getting all the reps, we were sitting here having conversations, and I was saying, look, if he's going to start, he deserves to be paid more money. And you said, no, just let Carson Beck play and have him just sit out if that's what he wants to do, or sit on the sideline if that's what he wants to do.
Well, because what was being reported is that he wanted big-time starter money. He wanted like $30 million a year. He wanted 22.5, whatever Malik Willis is getting.
I don't know if any numbers were being reported or anything like that. I think he just wanted to have a little more financial stability in his life, and that's what they gave. They gave him $10 more million. They didn't add any years.
I think you're changing the topic.
I'm not changing the topic.
In hindsight,
I'm not.
I think you're changing it.
I'm just saying, if they gave him more money, if he came in and he wanted $15 million, that's fine. You're going to get $15 million. You're going to get $1 million per L. That is perfect money for Jacoby Brissett. If they're going to only win 2 games, that is perfect. That is 2 and 15. That is $1 million per L for Jacoby Brissett. And if you want to have Carson Beck go out there and start a few games and see what he's got, you can do that too. The fact of the matter is, he's getting paid what a guy who's going to be, if you sign him to an extension at the end of the year to be your backup next year, what he's going to get paid.
Yes, he's getting paid like a high-priced backup quarterback, which he is, because he can start games for you if you need. That's exactly what Jacoby Brissett is, and that's exactly what I've said this entire offseason, how he should be handling this situation. If you're going to hold out for bigger money, you were never going to get legit starting quarterback money, like what we saw Daniel Jones, or what Baker Mayfield wants, or any of this stuff.
No, but the Colts made a huge mistake giving Daniel Jones that money. Yes, there's horribly dumb teams out there.
Like, we're not going to fast forward 7 months and look back and say, what were the Dolphins doing giving that money to Malik Willis?
Well, I think the bigger problem for the Dolphins and Malik Willis is the second year of that contract and not the first year of that contract. Like, you got to pay somebody to play. Like, and exactly, perfect example is what the Cardinals are doing here. You got to pay somebody to play. Someone's got to go out there and start for you. And I don't think drafting Carson Beck in the 3rd round is their answer. You got to pay somebody to go out there and play for you. And Jacoby Brissett was being a nice player and a team player and holding in for the OTAs and showing up to camp last week and actually participating and not just standing there, participating, and it paid off in a big way. He gets $10 million extra dollars. And now you have someone to go out there and play. But I think for the Dolphins' sake, if they end up with the second or third pick and they draft a quarterback, which they're probably going to, unless Malik Willis turns out to be this huge bargain at 20 some odd $20 million next year, they're going to be kicking themselves for paying a backup quarterback 20 some odd $20 million. And that's going to be a mistake for them. Whereas now the Cardinals will have Carson Beck on a super cheap deal as their backup. And if they want to go out and pay Jacoby Brissett as a free agent, or Jimmy Garoppolo, who wants to maybe come back after saying he might want to retire, who's a free agent or something like that.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You can always call and text the show at 310-840-4910. I wasn't expecting to debate Jacoby Brissett to start today's show
news.
Off the weekend.
That's the news of the day.
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on in the NFL. The two teams that reported over the weekend, the Rams and the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan, head coach for the 49ers, will not be coaching the team here at the start of training camp. He was in a car accident back in mid-July. Mm-hmm. Now, broken nose, laceration to the face, not good. Bad situation, but he's recovering. Therefore, so he's not going to be coaching the team to start training camp. So that's one element that's out there with the 49ers. With the Rams, we have yet to hear whether or not Aaron Donald has decided to return or not. The Rams are in camp. We thought that at this point we would know if Darnold was going to return. Also, with everyone around the NFL reporting to camp tomorrow, we're seeing quarterbacks report with the rookies and to get to the facility early. So we've seen quarterbacks around the NFL reporting, including Patrick Mahomes, who's back in the mix. And it seems like everything is ready to go for Mahomes and the Chiefs as well.
Yeah, and I think that that's huge, obviously, for the Chiefs, because he looked like he was playing and moving relatively well in the videos and the open portion that was open to the media in OTAs, in the offseason training program, and what we were able to see throughout the offseason. And now being fully cleared is great. And I have no problem with what Patrick Mahomes is bringing to the Chiefs this year. My issue with where I'm ranking the Chiefs in their division and in the rest of the AFC has everything to do with the supporting cast around Patrick Mahomes. And I just don't think that the supporting cast around Patrick Mahomes, unless they add a Stephon Diggs or someone else to this, you've got an aging Travis Kelce. This might be his last year. You've got a bunch of unproven wide receivers around him, that I just think that this isn't the best that we've seen from the Chiefs. And until I'm proven different, I just don't think that right now they look like the third best team in a division where you've got a Broncos team that has a good defense, the best offensive line in the NFL, and added Jalen Waddle. And you've got a Chargers team who added a great offensive coordinator. And I think you've got great weapons. And I really like what Justin Herbert's bringing. And I think that right now the Chiefs, I love Patrick Mahomes. He's still the best or second best quarterback in the NFL. But if you don't have a good supporting cast, you're only as good as what's around you still. And so I just don't think that as great as Patrick Mahomes can be, someone still has to catch the ball and make the plays.
Here's Andy Reid talking about Patrick Mahomes, and he's now cleared to play. Yep.
Pat's doing great with his, and right now he's got clearance to practice and do all the different periods that we have in this camp, and then we'll just take it day by day and see how he does. He'll have plenty of eyes on him, from coaches to trainers to doctors. So, but right now he's been cleared to go ahead and participate fully.
So there you go. Mahomes is ready to go to start training camp for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Abdalla, you laid it out pretty well there that, you look at this offseason, we would have expected a lot more from the Kansas City Chiefs as far as supplying and getting players to fit around Patrick Mahomes. Stephon Diggs is still out there. I'm wondering if that's going to be the play at some point, because Diggs can still play at a really high level. He was the Patriots' best receiver last year for Drake May, and Drake May had an MVP-like season. So if you're able to sign someone like Stephon Diggs as camp gets going along here, I may change how I think the high-end potential for the Chiefs can be for this upcoming season. Right now, based on the competition in the conference, I'm guessing they're going to struggle to make the playoffs. Like, I don't think this is going to be what we saw from Kansas City years before, where they're locked in as the number one seed. They're absolutely going to win their division. and kind of just roll through the regular season. I'm guessing it'll be a lot like what we saw last year, where last year they struggled throughout the regular season. When Mahomes was healthy, they were a 500 team last season. Then he got injured, and then they lost the rest of the games of the season. So the record looks way worse than what they were at the moment, but they were still a 500 team with a healthy Patrick Mahomes. There is also terrible news in relation to the Kansas City Chiefs today, as well as the wife of offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy was shot by their son yesterday in Virginia. Bieniemy was with the team at training camp in Missouri, so he wasn't there. But so that's a story that's going on around the NFL as well this afternoon. So that's a terrible story. She's in stable condition, but she was shot twice, I guess, from the son who's already been arrested.
Yeah. She was shot in the chest and the arm, and good to hear that she's in stable condition. Obviously, you would believe that Eric Bieniemy will leave the team and go be with her, but it's good to hear that she's at least in stable condition.
Yeah, so that story's out there in regards to the Chiefs. I didn't want to just only give you the football side, but
that's huge news out there.
That is breaking news that's taking place at this moment, and there seems to be a lot of these items of news and notes taking place in the NFL as the teams are reporting back to camp. Now, that's something that happened yesterday. There's also various, the Commanders fired their tight ends coach because at some point in the last month, he got a DUI. So they released him as they are set to start up camp tomorrow. And then all of the conversation around the 49ers and the injuries to Kyle Shanahan from the car crash, and then also around the conversation of the duty of reporters to report things in the moment if they know about it. Because from what it would seem, it is possible that people were aware that this is something that took place couple weeks ago, yet nothing was said until the 49ers reported to camp to announce it to the public.
Yeah, this took place, 10 days ago, this car accident, and there is speculation out there that local reporters knew about this car accident. And obviously, Adam Schefter, ESPN, reported on this over the weekend when the 49ers reported to camp. And this came out there, and that Shanahan would be able to participate in a very limited fashion in training camp and probably won't be able to travel with the team to the opener in Australia. He is still having very severe concussion syndromes from the car accident.
Concussion protocol?
Concussion protocol. And like you said, has had 40 stitches due to the injuries, had broken bones. You said a broken nose, I believe.
Yeah.
So, has still... it's only 10 days ago and is still having severe concussion issues from this accident. And he was out there. Reporters said he was out there for a portion of practice yesterday. And, they've said, and when players have met the media in the past couple days, that this is going to be a group effort to get the 49ers coached up throughout training camp. And look, they're a good organization, so they'll figure this out. But also, like you said, what is the duty of reporters? If you have a news item, you report it. You're a journalist. That's your job. If you have a news item, you're supposed to report it.
Yeah. I guess it's one of those things that if you are unaware of what is the actual condition of the person that's in said accident, I can understand waiting and seeing. There's no reason to rush to report something like that. Because it clearly was a pretty serious car accident.
Look, if you're waiting to get facts, then obviously you wait. If you're waiting because it involves family members and it's going to affect people, there's certain instances, obviously you wait. It affects people's lives. It affects people's livelihoods. There's certain factors in certain reportings where you obviously wait to gather all the facts. There's always, you want to be right rather than first. Right?
Yeah, sure. I would say that the reason why people, who is it, Florio is speculating.
From Pro Football Talk, yes.
That perhaps people were aware and did not report it. The problem would be is if you're covering something up.
Yeah.
That's what the problem would be with this. Now, if you're just waiting to get the clarification or for whatever to take place in the reporting of the story, then there's no problem here.
Yeah.
There's no problem at all.
Yeah.
But if there is some level of, let's keep this under wraps, let's not let this get out, we'll handle it, this is how we're going to spin it, per se, then I could see people being upset with the way that is being handled.
Yeah, there's a big difference between waiting a couple hours because you want to gather the facts because you found out that Kyle Shanahan was in a car accident versus 10 days of local reporters knowing about this, and then Adam Schefter being a national reporter finding out about this when the 49ers report to camp and then this coming out, because this was going to come out. Kyle Shanahan not being present at training camp.
Well, right. You can't continue on without acknowledging that he's not there.
Look, I know that, let's hope he's okay, obviously. He's dealing with severe concussion syndromes. The guy has 40 stitches in his face. He has not met the media yet, and they've been in training camp for like 3 days. Mike Vrabel has met the media like 3 or 4 times, 3 times, I think. And the Patriots have been in camp for like 4 days. It's rare that Shanahan hasn't met the media. This was going to get out.
Well, did Shanahan think about the puppy shield?
Well, I mean, listen.
I mean, Vrabel, what a pro move to bring the puppy out with him.
I mean, that's
when he meets the media the first time.
One puppy is like equal to bringing out like your entire family as a shield.
It's
like,
a hell of a shield, man. The puppy move.
Yeah.
That's a great move. I love it. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. I want to talk to you about this. Do you know how much money each NFL team has made from their TV deal? I'll tell you, because the Packers released their financials. You'll be blown away by the number. How much money each NFL team has made from their NFL TV deal. We'll talk about that coming up next. When you speed while driving, you have less time to react to whatever comes across your path. A sharp turn could take you by surprise, causing you to veer off the road. Another car could turn out in front of you, leading to a fender bender.
A truck could brake suddenly, injuring you and the other driver. A cyclist could enter the road ahead, and your impact could send them to the hospital. A pedestrian could be walking their dog, and your foot on the gas might lead to a tragedy.
You may not think that any of these things could happen to you, but you won't see them until they happen. When you're speeding, you don't have time to course correct. You don't have time to stop.
And it only takes an instant for disaster to strike. The speed limit isn't just there to protect you. It's there to protect your passengers, other drivers, cyclists, pedestrians, and everyone sharing the road.
So slow down, obey the law, and help keep everyone around you safe.
Speeding catches up with you, paid for by NHTSA.
The wait is almost over. Starting tomorrow, every NFL team will be in training camp. Football is back, and so are the storylines. We'll keep you on top of it all. Happy football season, everybody. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
The Green Bay Packers announced last week, because they're a publicly owned franchise, they released their financial information to the public. So that's where you can get a peek inside how much all of these NFL teams are really making, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we know that they're making a lot of money. How much money is the question? How much money did each NFL team make from their current TV deal in the last season? Last year, each of the NFL's 32 teams received, this is from ESPN.com, the story, $453.2 million from the league, mainly coming from the TV contracts. So $453 million coming from the TV contracts. The other angle with the Packers specifically is that Ed Policy, the CEO and president of the Green Bay Packers, made comment that they need a financial bump to stay competitive because this will be the first season since 1990 that's not the 2020 pandemic where the Green Bay Packers will be operating at a loss off of revenue, which is surprising. But then you can also point to the contracts that have been given out to the Green Bay Packers, including the 4-year, $188 million contract with $136 guaranteed to Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Green Bay Packers are a championship-level team trying to secure a championship. and going for it right now. And so the Packers are out there saying that they need more money. They also released that to maybe get an influx of cash, they could start holding more events and concerts at Lambeau Field throughout the offseason, leading up to the start of the NFL season. So that's the number. Each NFL team gets about $453 million for the TV contracts from the NFL. That's wild.
It's a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, well.
Just for sitting there and putting your games on TV, sitting there and doing nothing as an NFL team. And that's only going to, as these NFL negotiations happen, this is going to continue to go up as, the next round of negotiations happen. We just went through this because the delay of the schedule was that YouTube wanted in on it, and Netflix wanted more games, and Amazon wanted their games to be better, and the Thursday night games wanted them to be better, and all this. So as we go through each and every year, it seems like streaming wants more, which is going to cost more. And like the NFL can just start to charge whatever they want to because networks are just going to pay. The NFL knows there's no breaking point. There's no breaking point. At no point is a stream, because of streaming and because of how much these companies are worth, there is no amount that the NFL can say that YouTube or Netflix is going to say, no, that's too much. And Fox and NBC and CBS is just going to have to fall in line with whoever is next because, the NFC, and now that it's all spread out, like there's no NFC games used to be on Fox and CBS used to have the AFC, and now it's not that way anymore, right? They're all mixed up. They're all over the place now. Like you never really know which games are going to be on which. It kind of floats all over the place now. And it seems like eventually, as we get more and more of these games being displaced, it seems like eventually one of these networks might get priced out. I would wonder if one of these packages of like a Sunday Night Football or a Monday Night Football, maybe not Monday Night Football, maybe Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, maybe it's not Amazon, but maybe like a Sunday Night Football gets priced out and that ends up being on Apple or that's fully on YouTube or fully on Netflix or something like that because one of these networks just says, we can't afford the NFL anymore because the streaming services have priced us out.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, yeah, you're right. It's probably going to take place at some point because if you look at the financials and you look at what the power players in TV, for the most part, the NFL is propping up these networks. Mm-hmm. Without the NFL, what is ESPN today? Right? Like you're seeing all of the push towards the Super Bowl this upcoming season where it's going to be on ESPN television. They have so many different shows promoting the ESPN, the NFL product, the merger with the NFL Network recently. Mm-hmm. You look at NBC. Now, NBC's done a good job of collecting other items to go with it, but it's the National Football League is what drives NBC. Same goes for CBS. Is CBS the one that gets priced out at some point? It is all possible. And I think because of how much money the NFL is worth on TV, and there are places where they're willing to place games that are non-traditional.
I mean, look at the rights for the World Cup coming up, right?
Yeah.
And how much that's going to be.
Sure. But the point is the NFL has put together these one-off, here's a game on Netflix. Here's a couple of games on Amazon Prime. Here's a couple of games that could go here. There's a streaming only over here. Mm-hmm. They've opened the door to allow someone to come in and, it's not only the TV networks anymore. It's now the tech companies. And the tech companies see what the NFL is worth and what it means to broadcast production and to kind of lay that out there for the future of television, that it's not just CBS, ABC, NBC, and Fox looking at. There are talks out there that Fox, if they lose the NFL, would Fox even exist without the NFL? Look at the history of Fox. The history of Fox, they took off because they got the NFL in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's no longer the TV networks. Now you have Silicon Valley companies, the largest companies in the world, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, YouTube, those are the companies that are now battling for the NFL. And they've got more money than the TV networks.
Well, yeah, and look, the problem I think with other sports is, like, specifically, I'll use baseball as an example. They went too far. They spread their games out too far. You had a game on Roku. You had a weekly Roku game. What? I gotta download Roku.
Wasn't that the old Benetti cast
to find a game?
The sneaky breakfast with Benetti. Wasn't that the case last year?
Remember when people thought that they had to pay for Apple TV because they needed to find their Apple game of the week? It's like, no, you just download Apple TV. It's on there for free. And like they had to go through a whole explanation about having, and then they had to cut some of that back and be like, okay, you don't need Roku anymore. And like you still have Apple, like you still have to have that to watch a game, but they spread themselves too thin. I don't know if the NFL, because it's so, like, we talk about it so much year round, but it is such a short season. I don't know if the NFL could ever spread itself too thin by network, but I do think that at a certain point, they might price out a network. They might price out Fox or CBS or NBC for a single night package, something like that.
Well, it's all about making money, right? And the way that the NFL can make more money and pay each individual team more than the $453 million that it paid out last season to the teams for the TV contracts would be adding more games, which would be more events that they could then sell to the other streaming partners, which then would bring in more money and more revenue for the NFL.
Yeah.
Good for them. As a fan, that's not necessarily something that I need. I don't need an extra week of NFL football. The product was perfect at 16. It was. You can't argue with me on that because you're wrong. And to expand the playoff field, that's not better. Football is great the way it is because only a few get in. When you start rewarding everyone, what's the point? It's not participation trophy season. That's not what football is about. It's about the best winning and then getting there and then excelling and then the Super Bowl. Like, that's why it's great. But like just talk to the NBA about that. The NHL, you have half the league getting into these playoffs. It dilutes the product. It's not as good.
Why do you think Fox is so desperate to expand the college football playoff? They need more games.
Yeah.
They need more events.
They want more money.
Yeah.
That's why.
They need more events.
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Did you see this? So the NFL players have been releasing, the NFL, NFL.com, has been releasing online their top 100 players lists, right? The players vote, and then they've been releasing the list. You know, ever since we got to number 69 with Lamar Jackson, I have really no use for this list because the players don't take this seriously. There's no way that Lamar Jackson's the 69th best player in the NFL. There's no chance.
Completely disagree.
No.
I am more interested in this because I feel like the players have been more petty than ever. Because now I want to know who they think. If a player is sitting out and filling out a ballot and they're like, nah, man, I don't like this guy. I'm putting him down here.
Yeah, but that to me is a pointless list of rankings to see. If it's a biased opinion because people just don't like someone, then what's the point of the list?
Don't you? I'm not saying I'm putting credence into it. I'm saying that I just want to know what they're thinking. I just want to know what they're like. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, this is a master list now, and if this is what the players think, then it's law. No, because I'm also looking at some of the numbers that came out today and be like, you're a crazy person if you think that this guy is this low too. And so, like, I can look at it and say, this is a joke to me because you put Lamar Jackson this low, but you're putting these guys above Lamar Jackson. Like, this just makes it this much more of a mockery because you are disrespecting this exercise by putting Lamar Jackson this low, and now it's just a popularity contest.
A couple more quarterbacks have been released on the list. Here are the quarterbacks over the weekend that have been announced. Jalen Hurts comes in at 56. Last year, he was in the top 20. He was in the top 20 for the last 3 years. So Jalen Hurts at 56. That's quite a fall.
Again.
And then also Caleb Williams comes in. He was not ranked last year. He comes in at number 51. He's on the cover of Madden. He certainly is going to have a lot of hype around Caleb Williams, the Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson, year 2 of that group trying to get back to the playoffs. So Caleb at 51, Hurts at 56. I still don't care about the list because number 69, Lamar Jackson, that's a joke.
Okay. That's for you to not care. I think that
yes, it is. That's why it's my opinion. Correct.
I think that Jalen Hurts, again, this goes back to what players hear about certain things, and players, the hit piece that was put out by ESPN, and how you don't think that players talk. You don't think that players?
Oh, they absolutely talk.
If players are talking to and were contributed to this piece to ESPN about Jalen Hurts freelancing in the huddle and calling plays that aren't even in the playbook, you don't think that players talk to each other?
Oh, yeah.
And be like, this dude's calling stuff that we don't even work
Well,
on.
isn't it surprising that Hurts is above Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, come on. What are we doing
But
here?
the fact that he fell down
Yeah.
that much is not
Well, that's
surprising.
true.
I also think that Caleb Williams being up that high is not surprising because I remember when this list was being promoted by the NFL, you had Micah Parsons, who we just talked about, talking about, they're like, who do you think should be up there? And he mentioned Caleb Williams as one of the guys he doesn't like facing, the most, because he's the hardest to track down. He's the hardest to tackle. He's the hardest to go and defend against. So I think that players look at that stuff, and players look at, he cut his sacks by more than half. And I think that, if you've got defensive players that are voting on this, obviously you do, I think that they look at escapability and that kind of stuff. So I'm not surprised that Caleb Williams went from unranked to ranked that high this season. Look, he's not like he's in the top 10. He's 51. So.
Yeah, 51. And so coming into the season, he will be one of the more looked at and hyped players coming into this season. We'll see what he can do with his second season with Ben Johnson, a full off season where he knows he's the guy with this offense and working forward. And like you said, he had a great end of the season. Lots to be desired from Caleb Williams at the start of games last year. So if he can work on that, he clearly can continue to ascend. He's already someone that's gotten the notoriety and the hype heading into this year, and we'll see if he can live up to it. So there you go. Number 51, Caleb Williams on the top 100 list for the NFL. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. Abdalla is here, and he is going to break down some new uniforms in the NFL coming up next. It's Bleck Abdalla.
1 week until the MLB trade deadline. Buyers, sellers, contenders, pretenders. Who could be on the move? The lines are about to be drawn. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
As teams start to report to training camp around the NFL, the Rams and the 49ers reported over the weekend. Everyone else in football reports tomorrow. That's right. So every other NFL team reports tomorrow. In college football, Big Ten Media Days start tomorrow.
Oh,
so
man.
we get Big Ten coaches speaking this week. I think Thursday is when Cignetti takes the mic. Can't wait for that. So there's a lot of football in the air. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Here on the radio station, Westwood One Sports, we have our very own fashion hot cop. That's right. Adam Abdalla is our fashion hot cop for Westwood One Sports. And Abdalla is here to break down the fashion of the latest that he's seen from the Rams and the Bills uniforms.
Well, Chris, I'm glad that you've welcomed me to the stage here to address these new uniforms here from the Rams and the Bills. Where would you like to start? Out east or out west?
Let's go west because I think that's the I want to get your opinion on the Rams first, then we'll address the abomination of the Buffalo Bills' new uniforms.
Let's go out west. So we'll start in L.A., where some say is a big fashion hub.
Oh, is it?
Not here. Not in L.A. Not in Rams house, if you will. As we throw back to the 60s and 70s, they've got a new white uniform and a new yellow uniform. Now, these are throwbacks, so they're not really new. I don't mind the white one. It's all white. It is an icy white color scheme, as they say. A throwback to the club's iconic fearsome foursome defensive line of the 60s and 70s. A subtle but distinct details of their own. A ram horn-themed shoulder stripe on the jersey that matches the team's distinct helmet. The abomination here, to me,
Fashion hot cop, yes.
are these mustard yellow ones that are a callback to the team's 60s appearance that's just ridiculous. I hate these are horrible.
You're not a mustard yellow pants guy?
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. I hate the yellow ones. The yellow ones, they look like something we broadcast out of the great city of Chicago every day. I'm looking to grab this and put this on my hot dog here. Like this mustard yellow color.
Easy grabbing things and putting it on your hot dog.
This is disgusting. This is disgusting. I don't want any part of this. I mean, Matthew Stafford looks horrible in this. I mean, he looks great in the white ones. They match those chompers. That's what looks great for Matthew Stafford here.
Yes, he and his wife have matching chompers. That's true.
They share a pair.
Yeah.
So that's it for the West. It's a 50-50 split between. I don't mind the white. Not a fan of the yellow. And then we go to Buffalo.
All right, let's go to Buffalo. So Buffalo announced today their alternate uniform, Nickel City Unis. Abdalla, take the floor. Here we go. Your Westwood One Sports fashion hot cop, Adam Abdalla, on the Buffalo Bills.
What in the hell are we doing here, Buffalo? Why have we gone with this looks like an alternate for an XFL, UFL, Canadian Football League team. This looks like the backup to a team that Keanu Reeves is going to play in the replacements. The helmet looks horrible. People are blaming Nike for this. For these uniforms, the Nickel City, people are calling this the Nike-fication of the uniforms. I'm trying to see when they're going to wear these. They're going to wear these, the Cold Front Rivalries jerseys is when is what these are called. The biggest change is obviously the helmet. The helmet is disgusting. The helmet's disgusting. It's bright blue with a big red. It just looks like a stripe with like a weird white, like almost just the outline of the front of the buffalo on the top.
No.
That's all it is. What is that thing?
You're missing it completely.
What is that thing? What is that thing?
Look at the Bills logo.
Oh, is that the horn?
Yes, it's the horn and the red stripe coming off of the horn from the actual logo. It's just the logo's not on the helmet.
That's disgusting.
It is. You know what it is? It's minimalist slop.
I hate it.
You know what I mean? Like it's everyone is about being a minimalist with all this stuff.
These grays are horrible. They're gonna
terrible.
lose. They're gonna. Whenever they wear these, I will be betting against them.
Yeah,
this is a horrible look. These grays look bad.
It's a bad look.
I've seen they've got. I'm on their website right now. They have 200. I'm not even kidding you. Look, a 250 picture slideshow of these, and I will tell you this: it looks fine on the wide receivers and the tight ends.
Okay, all right.
But when you bring out the beefy boys,
oh no,
the gray does not do them any favor.
Really?
The gray does not do the beefy boys.
Makes them seem like there's a little bit more beef.
It does not hide the beef well. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
It does not hide the extra tire. Inner tubes around the midsection. I mean, look at what we're working with here.
Please
look at that.
Please, for those out there that
it doesn't
have
hide
that going on, just let it be known
Dion
that it's
Dawkins,
Abdalla that's
73.
calling people with a tire around their stomach.
It doesn't do them, and I'm sure they're proud of it, and I'm proud of them for them. But it doesn't do them any. It doesn't do them any good. Gray is not a color that conceals that. If that's what you're going for here. F on these. F on these. I will be betting against the Bills whenever they wear these.
So there you go. Our Westwood One Sports fashion hot cop, Adam Abdalla, on the new uniforms around the NFL. The Rams, not great, but the white does look good with the chompers with Matthew Stafford. And with the Buffalo Bills, they look terrible. All together. So there you go.
Like Stafford just went
There's
to Nike.
the fashion hot cop with Adam Abdalla.
They're like, what color should we use? How white should it be? And Stafford just went into Nike and just smiled. And he goes, use this. Just smiled, and they just used his.
No,
his
I think you're onto something. The way the Bills alternates look, it looks like what you get from the computer team when you forget to fill out your create a New Jersey uniform combo. Like it is so blah and so uninspiring.
Remember the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves?
Yes.
Like it's always the other team that they're playing.
Yeah.
Like it's
they
not
look
as
terrible.
good for them. Like it's not as good as the team that they're on.
Right.
It's the other team.
The other team always looks worse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the way.
This is
That's-
horrible. I haven't
that's the way
seen a
the Buffalo
single
Bills look.
person that likes these.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Online.
They're really terrible. And like I said, the minimalist helmet is so stupid.
I don't get it. They have the Bills have such a cool helmet.
Yes, they do.
Don't change it.
And a cool history with uniforms throughout the years.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, just wear your 90s unis. Those are slick. With the different color helmet instead of the white helmet, it looks good. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You saw The Odyssey over the weekend.
I did see The Odyssey over the weekend. I went to the theater. I went to The Odyssey. I could not see it in HD 70 millimeter. I could not see it in 4DX. I had to I over the weekend, Chris, good old regular D.
You saw a regular D.
No, careful with you. Careful. I know what you were going to say.
I said you watched it in regular D.
You started differently, though.
No, I didn't.
I went to good old regular D.
You took a trip to see it in regular D.
Yeah,
yes.
And it was great. It was magnificent. It was awesome. It was everything I hoped for.
Did I build it up too much?
No, you didn't. It was great.
Was I wrong?
No, you were not wrong. It was awesome. It was an achievement of cinema, especially because none of it was HD or in green screen or any of that crap that other people do. And Nolan is a great filmmaker. And it's great. And it made another $1 billion this weekend.
This weekend over the box office, $87 million at the box office this weekend, which I think was only a 29% drop from the weekend before. Usually movies see at least a 50% drop off from weekend 1 to weekend 2. So people are still going and seeing it. And if you're looking for something that's other than the regular D definition to watch it, you still can't get a ticket at the IMAX for this film. It's wild.
There was a guy. I have a story about a guy. We don't have enough time for me to tell it. I'll tell it later about a guy that was
Did you notice in the film the interlocking fingers?
Yeah, the finger locking. Yes, I did notice it. I did notice it. Yes.
I mean, you didn't even text the show after that.
I didn't notice it in the moment because I was enthralled by the emotions of the movie. Yes, it was so good. But yes.
Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. I've got a wild stab about LeBron coming up next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, SiriusXM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck, along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago, on the air until 3 Eastern. Hanging out with you. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. All right, Abdalla, how about this? A crazy stat. LeBron James on Friday signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. 2-year deal, $8 million, right? 2 years, $8 million, so 4 mil a year for LeBron James with the Sixers. That took place on Friday. How about this stat? This is from The Athletic. 18 college basketball players this upcoming season will make more than what LeBron James is going to make from the 76ers from their college teams with NIL and their college basketball situation. 18 players in college basketball this upcoming year will make more money than LeBron James this upcoming basketball season.
That's why I don't think anyone can fault him for this decision. Like, I don't think anyone can be upset at LeBron for this from a basketball standpoint. Like, you have to really hate LeBron. And that's fine. Like, look, you can just hate LeBron. Just hate him hate is a very strong emotion. You can just hate him to hate him. As a player, you can be, I can think of any fan base that can hate LeBron out of all the teams that he's played for. You and I are diehard Bulls fans. I can think of many a Knick fan that probably hate Michael Jordan because of any other fan base that Jordan kept from winning a title while he was with the Chicago Bulls. And I have a feeling that there are many LeBron haters that are just like, oh, he's just ring chasing. And, oh, look at this guy. He just wants to try to win one last ring so he can just add it and we'll just, say that this is an asterisk. But he's not taking $30 million or $40 million. He took a 93% pay cut to join this team. He's the 11th ranked in salary on this team.
It's amazing.
He's making $4 million this year. It's nuts. And this isn't also like a team that only has the stars that are on the starting five, and that's it. This is a decently deep team with a good bench that can make up for the fact that Embiid will miss a handful of games. Look, if he misses a decent amount of the season, they're probably not going to win an NBA Finals, right? If he's out for the season, they're not going to win the NBA Finals. If he suffers a season-ending injury, they're not going to win it. But if he misses a stretch of the season, they can weather the storm. If LeBron has to sit, he didn't play all of the games, obviously, last season. They can weather the storm. They can do that. But we've already seen LeBron take a back seat when he was with the Lakers. We've already seen LeBron be not necessarily the role player, but not the main guy with the Lakers. So we know he can do that, and he's going to do that with the 76ers, with Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Maxey and Embiid when he's healthy. So we know he can do this, and he's doing that by showing you he's only taking $4 million this year. It's just out there.
Yeah, it's wild, and that's why when I saw this stat that there's 18 players in college basketball that will be making more than LeBron James this upcoming season. Now, obviously, it's two different things. The NBA is its own league. College basketball players, the NIL, make your money as a kid. It's just an amazing stat when you hear it. You're going to tell someone else the next time that you think of it or you talk about LeBron James. Could you imagine LeBron's taking a pay cut to the point where there's 18 guys in college basketball this upcoming season that will be making more money than LeBron James. So, so as we let it simmer over the weekend, we were on the air just moments after LeBron announced that he was going to Philadelphia for this upcoming season, and this was on Friday. As I thought about it over the weekend, Abdalla, the one thing I continue to think about is the fact that obviously this is a super talented team. The talent at the top is some of the best we've ever seen put together in the NBA. Now, whether or not those players stay healthy and you get the maximum potential out of what this group is, that's a different conversation, right? Because Joel Embiid has missed almost as many games as he's played in his NBA career. Mm-hmm. And we can go from year to year to just look at the amount of times that he is just missing in action, where he's not available for the 76ers. So that's one side of it. The other side of it is, you look at this team getting thrown together, and they instantly have to have chemistry. And we just saw it in the Eastern Conference in this last basketball season. Who won the finals? It was the New York Knicks. And what's the thing about the Knicks? The Knicks from last season to this past season was that they changed the coach. All the players stayed. Mm-hmm. So they had the chemistry together. They also have a pecking order in who gets the ball, when they're supposed to contribute, and it all plays off of Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson was incredible in the NBA playoffs and in the finals. And they know how to get him in his spots, and he knows when to go and to be the guy. And what's going to happen with the Sixers is that how are they going to decide who the guy is when it's his turn to go? Does everyone cater to LeBron because he's one of the greatest of all time? Do people cater to Embiid if he's healthy? Jaylen Brown wanted to be the guy in Boston. Now he's there. He thought he was getting his own team with Embiid, and now he has to deal with the idea of sharing the shots with LeBron James. Now, LeBron can facilitate, but is he going to be willing now that he's only making $4 million for the year, to just be a guy that's facilitating? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be the case with LeBron James. Now, can he do it every single night? No. He's at the point of his career where he's still a top-level player, but he can't lead a team every single night by himself. Mm-hmm. But he's better than just a facilitator. Like, that's what I'm trying to establish here, is LeBron James is still, at this point, way better than just a facilitator of the basketball. And so when you look at it, if I'm a 76ers fan and I'm looking at this situation, Tyrese Maxey's coming into his own. He's supposed to be the guy that's like, first and foremost, the best player on the team, ascending, right? Where does he fit into this equation with all the guys that need usage? Mm-hmm. Embiid, Brown, LeBron, Maxey. VJ Edgecombe is a very talented young guard as well. So I was on the golf course on Saturday with our friend Alan.
You golf?
You know Alan. Yeah. And Alan is a diehard Philadelphia sports fan. He's from Pennsylvania. He moved here in his 30s. He moved to the Chicagoland area. So he is a Philly fan, first and foremost. Loves the Eagles, the Phillies, and loves the Sixers, right? So I asked him on Saturday, like, hey, what we saw was, do you think you like it? LeBron James is with your squad. Like, hey, you guys are the favorites now. You guys are going to win a championship. What he said to me was, it feels cheap. His point was that he loved the Jaylen Brown move because it felt like, okay, the Sixers are going for it. Yeah. Now, this feels cheap because it's like now you're stacking the deck, which I was like, that's interesting because, like, as a Philly fan, I could see you being super excited because now you're going to be one of the best teams in the NBA, but it's also LeBron, right? Like, I would assume most Philly fans don't like LeBron James, as most Chicago fans don't like LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's not like LeBron has ever been on a team that's been like a rival of Philly. Like, he's not like it's not like he's been a Knick or anything like that. He's never been a Celtic. He wasn't a Bull. Like, he's never been on a team that's been a rival of the 76ers. LeBron has just always, to me, been a rival of the NBA. If he's not on your team, you probably don't like LeBron. Simple as that. Unless you're just like a LeBron guy. You're either a fan of the team he's on, you're a LeBron fan, or you just don't like LeBron. Those are the fans of the NBA, right? There's no in between. I don't think there's there are people that are just like, I'm 50-50 on LeBron. I think you either love him, you hate him, or you're a fan of the team that he's on. And I can understand a measured take of, yeah, this feels kind of not necessarily like dirty, but it does kind of feel, cheap is a good word, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not signing the best player in the world. Like, you're not getting vintage, 33-year-old in the peak of his prime LeBron, 32-year-old, 31-year-old LeBron at the apex of his powers. Like, this is going to be the best LeBron you're going to get for $4 million. No, this is the last year of LeBron. He's going to play, 48, 47 games at most, and the playoffs. And so, like, you're not going to get a huge amount. This is LeBron ring chasing. And also,
and I think that's a part of it, right?
Yeah, that is a part of it.
It's the ring chasing part of it, and that's a part of LeBron's legacy that you can discuss. But LeBron has been somewhat durable in his old age. Like, he's not playing 82 games a year, but in the last 3 seasons, he played 71, 70, and this past year 60 games. And when LeBron was there at the end of this season, he was in the best situation of all those Lakers. Mm-hmm. Austin Reeves got hurt. Luka Doncic got hurt. So, yeah, I think when you're looking at, if you're a Philly sports fan, you want to join the show, you can text us also at 310-840-4910. Does it feel cheap? Does it feel cheap that LeBron James is lurching on to a team that's going to be in the conversation of trying to win a championship this upcoming season? The big move for Jaylen Brown, it's huge. It was a move that really put Philadelphia onto the same plane as the New York Knicks, the defending champions. Now you get LeBron James. Theoretically, as a starting five goes, that's a better lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy. The Sixers are the better lineup. But when you kind of look at the overall way that this went down, and that LeBron is choosing Philadelphia for the sole purpose of chasing a championship ring because he wants to win one more, our friend, Philly sports fan, diehard Philadelphia sports fan, feels like it's cheap.
I mean, look, I don't think Philly fans are going to necessarily be upset if they win a championship. I also don't necessarily think they're going to win a championship. Like, I'm not putting my money on the 76ers to win a championship because I think a lot has to go right. Like, LeBron is also putting a lot of his stock into Joel Embiid doing something he hasn't done in his career, and that's get through the playoffs healthy to win a championship. So something has to happen that has never happened in the NBA so far for Joel Embiid. And then he has to get through the finals against what we presume is going to be the Spurs or the Thunder. And I don't know if that's going to happen because we saw how physical those games were between the Spurs and the Thunder. You think Embiid's going to be able to handle that? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure for a team that is swapping out 2 of 5 for their starting 5, and those 2 are major, major players. You know, they're not just guys that are just role guys in the starting lineup. You know, these are high-usage players, the 2 of them, in Jaylen Brown and LeBron James being added to the Philadelphia 76ers. So there's a lot of pressure that comes along with it, and it's a lot of pressure that comes along with a team that has to have instant chemistry because, like, we know the way that this is going to work. And I think one of the questions we had on Friday's Fill in the Blank was something about, like, what will the 76ers be this upcoming year? And I said that they're going to be one of the top stories in sports.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be covered like an NFL team, coverage-wise. Mm-hmm. You know, and maybe people haven't really picked up on, but there's a lot of NBA teams that don't really have a lot of coverage anymore. You know, maybe 1-2 reporters follow a team around. That's it. Beat reporters. Mm-hmm. You know, there's very little teams in the NBA that have national media members following them around for every single game of the regular season. There's almost none right now. Well, you know, for a moment, the Golden State Warriors, when they were rocking and rolling with championships, that was a team that had the national media kind of following them along throughout the season. But Philadelphia is going to be the NBA hotspot, win or lose, throughout this year.
I heard a guy that we know really well, Spike Eskin, on with Nick Kostos, who's on before us on You Better You Bet.
Fantastic.
And Nick asked him, would this take any attention away from the Eagles this season? And his answer was, no, not really. Like, this isn't going to. But, like, look, if you're the NBA, and I already saw a story that the 76ers are going to get as far as, you know, look, you wanted to wait for LeBron to make the schedule. They're going to get the 34 nationally televised allotted games. That's the max you can get. They're going to get that. And if you want to try to put a dent in the NFL's Christmas Day ratings, 76ers and Celtics right up against the NBA is well, and that's what they were talking about.
It's as good as you can get.
That's as good as you, and that's that's what Kostos and Spike were talking about.
I got an idea.
And that's one way to do it. If that's what you want to do, you got that because you got LeBron and the 76ers with Jaylen Brown. If you want to schedule 76ers at Boston, that's how you want to make a dent in. You're not going to beat the NFL. You're not going to do that.
No, well, I got an idea. Let's add to it, right? Let's make this party something to actually go after the NFL. Invite Messi and tell him to bring some friends and have like a halftime show with Bieber and Shakira and meld have a coming of together of the World Cup and the NBA on Christmas Day, maybe then you can take down the NFL. Maybe then, if you have the World Cup playing together with the NBA on the court on Christmas Day, maybe that could put up a fight against the NFL.
I mean, look, you've
and,
got...
And also have on the side of the court a presidential debate, and boom, maybe you have all the fixings for something that could take out the NFL.
A halftime debate for president.
Right? Like, because outside of that stuff, the NFL is going to crush whenever they're on.
Well, of course they are, but like the NBA has a built-in, like now you have a built-in, assuming like everyone, again, you have to assume that everyone stays healthy and plays then. Like because Christmas is usually like the start, the unofficial start of the NBA season. Like the beginning is just kind of everyone going through the motions and that kind of stuff. Christmas is usually when guys start to take it seriously. And that if you want to start then, that you put 76ers at Celtics up against the NFL. That's where you do it. For right in the afternoon.
It's going to be the Knicks. It'll be Knicks 76ers.
I mean, what does that do for me?
I'm just telling you.
I
want
want Jaylen Brown going back to Boston. Wait, Knicks. What does that do for me?
Well, they're the champions. What do you mean? What's it going to do for you?
Who cares?
It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports.
Start the season.
And the Westwood One Sports app. In the aftermath of LeBron's decision, it looks like there was a runner-up. We'll tell you who that is coming up next.
The NBA has reshaped in one summer. LeBron and Jaylen Brown are in Philly. Giannis is headed to Miami. Paul George is a Celtic. And that's just the Eastern Conference. Who will challenge the Knicks for the NBA crown? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, live from Chicago each and every day. Now it's time to go on out to parts unknown in Colorado, and that's where we find Raj Sharon.
And the next question comes from the line of Raj Sharan with Westwood One. Please proceed.
Please proceed. On a Monday, it's time for a little one-on-one. And Raj, if you're watching us on YouTube, Bleck and Abdalla show, you will notice that the old Bleck and Abdalla studio that we're broadcasting from here from NBC Tower in downtown Chicago, we had to turn the lights on.
Yes, it looks
because
intimate.
right now, yes, usually we go with natural lighting from the sunlight, but there is no sunlight at the moment. There are major storms rolling through Chicago at this moment. Tornado warnings, all kinds of crazy stuff. But right now it's like pitch black outside. You can see the rain falling.
The seas are angry, my friend.
We had to go with the artificial lighting here in the studio as we welcome in Raj from Parts Unknown, Colorado. Hello, Raj, on a Monday.
Hello, fellas. Yeah, I like the look. It reminds me of those days in school when they'd be having light issues and the floodlight would be you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's sort of what it reminds me of. As I look at you guys there in the great city of Chicago. All right, guys. Well, let's go one-on-one, and we're going to start, Abdalla, in the aftermath of the decision we had from LeBron James to go to the Philadelphia 76ers. It appears over the weekend from his agent Rich Paul, the runner-up was not his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. It was not his former two-time championship team, the Miami Heat. It appears the runner-up was the Golden State Warriors. That does or does not surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me because it seems like he is friends mostly with those guys, like are friends the most with Steph and Draymond and Steve Kerr. So I feel like in the final season or 2 seasons of his career, it seemed like he would either pick somewhere where he would go and have a chance to win a ring in Philly, which he ultimately chose, or he would want to go and hang out with his friends and play golf with Steph and hang out with Draymond and, you know, be coached by the great Steve Kerr. So, like...
the great Steve.
The great. I mean, he is. I mean, he's great. Yeah, listen. Steve Kerr's a good hang, man.
Yeah, I like Steve. Yeah.
Like,
before he took... do you remember back years ago, before he took the Golden State job, he was working in media.
Yeah.
And at our old place, he was doing fill-in radio shows for, like, I think it was Sirius XM. And so, like, you and I had to help him get in and out of the building.
That's what I mean. He's a good hang.
And there's probably no one that's nicer who I've, like, ever met in my life than Steve Kerr. Like, the dude he's a great dude.
He's a good hang. And so that's why I think like he just wanted to, that's why I'm not surprised that they were the runners up, because he just wants to, hang out with some dudes that he's friends with.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair. I would say here's why, Raj, to answer your question, I'm a little surprised because I don't think, based on the context of what LeBron told us, he wanted to win one more championship. I don't think if he would have gone to Golden State that they would win a championship. We just spent the last 15 minutes debating whether or not Philly can get it done. And it's no guarantee. I think the run with the Warriors is over. And so for another topic, maybe for a different day, or maybe Abdalla's side podcast that he produces here for the show, we really need to dive into what Joe Lacob has done with the Warriors since his comment of light years, how the Warriors are ran as an organization light years ahead of the rest of the league, and how they're just wasting away the end of Steph Curry's career. Raj, right? Like there's a story there to be told.
Yes.
We don't have the time to do it today. NFL is right around the corner. But on Abdalla's NBA Hoops podcast, Substack, he'll have that for you right there.
He's got a Patreon too. You got a Patreon, Abdalla?
Yes. Right.
All right,
that
guys.
That was always the joke I used to say to Chris. He would rattle off some random NBAs. I'd be like, "Listen, I'm not here for your Substack, all right?"
Dude, you've done it here on this show.
I have done it here.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just informing the audience that this is.
I know.
I don't have time for Chris's Substack. All right, leave your King's thoughts out of this, okay?
Oh my gosh. All right, let's go to the NFL, and let's go to the NFL in the city you guys are broadcasting from, Chicago, Illinois. You talked earlier in the show, Caleb Williams has come in on the NFL Top 100 at 51. Last year he was unranked. Now he's at 51. He is the cover star of Madden, and as that game is getting ready to come out, NFL marketing is ramping it up. We are about to see more and more and more Caleb all over our TVs. And the discourse is a lot. I use the word polarizing. I think right now he's become the most polarizing player in the NFL. So, Bleck, I ask you, the amount of pressure going on your boy, Caleb Williams, going into this season to live up to all this, is fair, too much, or not enough?
All right, the answer to me is pretty simple, Raj. It's fair, and it's what he wants. Caleb Williams has never shied away from the fact, even when he was in college, he wanted to win Heismans. He wanted to win national championships. He wasn't able to win a national title. He wanted to be the number one pick in the NFL draft. When he was drafted by the Chicago Bears, number 1 overall, he has never once shied away from the fact that he's the number 1 pick, that he's won Heismans in college, that he's never won as a team player. He wants to win a Super Bowl. He talks about it all the time. He talks about being the best player in the NFL. When as a rookie, it sounds a little ridiculous, especially in a league with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. But it's something that he says, and I don't think it's show. I think it's what he wants to try and accomplish with his career. I think the criticism and the hype is fair around him, and it's up to him to live up to that standard that he is setting for himself.
That's fair. I agree. I think that it's fair. I think that the constant quote from him and Ben Johnson is that pressure is a privilege, and that the fact that, they have to try to repeat as division champions, the fact that they were a few plays away from going to the NFC Championship game last season, they want to replicate that. I think also that, he knows that the history of the Bears quarterback situation, they've never had a 4,000-yard passer, that they've basically never had a real quarterback that Bears fans can hang their hat on, and that he's basically tagged with trying to be the savior of the Bears offense here in the city of Chicago. The Bears have never really had a great Bears quarterback besides Jay Cutler. That's the best quarterback the Bears have ever had. So I think that there's nothing wrong with the amount of pressure. I think it's fair. I don't think it's too much or not enough at all. I think it's the right amount of pressure for him to try to live up to. And I think that with another year with Ben Johnson and, with Luther Burden and Colston Loveland and Roma Dunze all there and a good offensive line, I think that he and the Bears can live up to it.
Yeah, and Raj, the way I would describe it to those who are just maybe seeing headlines every once in a while or seeing a clip here and there from the last 2 seasons of us here in Chicago witnessing and listening to Caleb talk every single day during the season, it's this. Maybe the headline comes across as cocky or arrogant. In reality, this is just how he operates. Like, he views himself as someone to hopefully live up to Tom Brady or Michael Jordan or like the greatest of greats, which again is crazy to think. But like, to accomplish those things, you do have to be wired that way to think that I can accomplish that. So like, whenever you see a quote from him and he's saying that he could be the best quarterback in football, it's not him being cocky. That's like the way he is. And he's been consistently like that, because I think if you saw those quotes from other young players, usually they come across as like a guy, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just trying to be a flashy, look at me star. And it's like, no, the way he lives his life is he expects the very best for himself. Is that a fair way to kind of paint that picture, Raj?
Yeah. We've all covered we've covered athletes. What you just described reminds me of my time covering Peyton Manning. That's what you just described.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I got you. All right, guys. A week ago, the two of you, soccer super fans, were riding the high of the World Cup. I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, but there was a viral video of a under-12 Barcelona soccer team just looking insanely talented, and the replies were just through the roof of like how far advanced and ahead they are internationally than America when it comes to soccer, using this 12-year-old highlight to illustrate it. Simultaneously, don't know how much TV you guys watched over the weekend, but you can feel the ramp up of flag football in this country as a youth sport. It was all over ESPN. It was all over NFL Network. We know the NFL is behind it. It's about to become an Olympic sport, and they've got money and big names behind it. So I set all that up to ask you guys, which sport has a brighter future specifically in America? Abdalla, is it soccer or is it flag football?
I hate you so much. Like, the fact that you thought about this and had that whole, like,
it was a great intro.
Like,
hell of a question, great intro. Yeah,
and
it was well done.
Like, I'm not even dignifying this with a response.
Wow.
Like, there are travel teams.
How about that,
There
Raj?
are entire facilities. I drive by the Chicago Fire practice facility, like the fire pitch that's over on Addison. And here in Chicago,
so on the north side.
On the north side, almost every week, I take my daughter right by there because she takes soccer. Like, come on, man, what are we doing here?
That was a great question from Raj.
No points.
Yes, it was. It was a great question.
No points.
Okay, Raj, I'll answer your question since Abdalla doesn't want to participate. I will say this. You guys know how much it bothers me when I flip on SportsCenter and I see something that's not really relevant being covered. And to Raj's point, I did flip on SportsCenter last night to try and catch up on what I missed throughout the day. And they're telling me about the flag football something, and I was like, what the hell? Can we just get to training camp?
Well, I missed nothing.
What are we doing here? Yeah, the flag football thing could be, it's certainly going to have enthusiasm behind it, and kids who are not playing real football, it's a cool thing. Like, playing pickup football in the backyard was something I did all the time as a kid. It was fun.
Yeah.
So
it's getting picked up as a varsity sport in states across the country with the NFL's backing, Abdalla.
That's different.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, because some of the kids couldn't make the real team.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Sorry.
Football is football. Let's
sorry,
play
everyone
football.
Needs a trophy.
Let's play real football, but I'm not going to be against those who enjoy participating for fun but it should not be a varsity sport. What is that about?
I feel like you guys need me credit.
Math.
I asked you a question comparing flag football and soccer. I made no Rice Krispie jokes, no orange slice jokes.
I'm not making jokes. I'm just saying the kids should be playing real football. And I get that there's head injury concerns, but come on now. Flag football, it's going to be soccer. Soccer's the answer.
Pick up a shot put or something, kid.
And to the point, Raj, soccer is already so far advanced. They have a professional league. They've got the infrastructure. Yeah, we may lose in the World Cup, but soccer is a big deal in this country.
Yeah.
Come on, Raj.
We're not Canada.
On a Monday?
We're not Canada.
And
You're of all
finally,
places.
a question written for my good friend Chris Bleck, who watches the local nightly news every night.
Late local
Earlier
news.
on in the show, fashion insider Abdalla broke down the new Rams and Bills uniforms. So I asked this question. Alternate uniforms, throwbacks. We got second helmets. We got third helmets in the NBA. We got city editions. And this one I know really pokes at Bleck. This pokes at Bleck more than wrestling being on SportsCenter. NBA teams not wearing white at home.
Come
I
on,
asked
what are we
all
doing?
this to Chris Bleck. Is it fun or is it too much, Bleck?
To have all the different uniforms?
All this stuff. Yeah, is it fun or is it too much?
It's too much. It's
I
too
knew it.
much. It's too
On
much.
brand.
It's too much. It absolutely is too much. A team should have 2 uniforms. If you want a third, that's an old school throwback deal to something that you used to wear that was cool, I'm down with that. But once you mix in the 4th, 5th, 6 different helmets, I'm looking at you, Oregon. I understand you do that. You mix and match. You
White
can't really
Chicago Bears helmet on the
dress in
way.
the dark. I understand what's
There's a
happening
difference,
there.
though. I feel like Oregon, their brand was
Yeah.
"Let's be wild," like,
Yeah.
and that was cool.
They're the
But
ones
now,
that can get away
but now
with it.
everybody's doing it. Is the white Chicago Bears helmet on the way to complement the blue one and the
I
orange
hope
one?
not.
It was
I hope
different.
not.
It was
I
different
hope
when
not.
it was cool when Oregon was like, "Let's tune in and see what Oregon's wearing."
It was
Like,
cool. But now
yeah.
when TCU does it,
Yeah.
when
Yes.
Nebraska is
Yes.
in black, like what the hell are we doing? Like,
Yes.
come on. Give me
I
some
agree.
traditional uniforms,
I
especially
agree.
in the NBA.
I agree.
Home teams should wear white. You wear your dark uniforms or the colored uniforms on the road.
Yep.
That should be that. We should know when you flip into an NBA game, you should know immediately who's playing in the game.
Oh, I forgot the NBA Cup floors as well.
Oh,
that can be grouped
trash.
into this as well.
Trash.
Yeah, I understand
Absolute
why
trash.
Nike is doing all this. They want to sell more jerseys. They want to do all this because everybody's buying them. I understand it. I completely understand. But I agree with Chris. I don't like every single different city, home, all that. Like you want to have your months where you have your causes and you have like the different gloves and you have the different like things. Like I know baseball uses the pink bats.
Yeah.
And like the NFL uses the pink. Like that stuff's fine. I got no problem with
I
that.
I will stand by the
causes?
The players in Major League Baseball who are wearing shin protectors and elbow protectors that are nowhere close to the team colors still irritates me.
Oh, okay.
Like when you see a New York Yankee at the plate wearing bright yellow, like what the hell are we doing? I was watching Sunday Night Baseball last night. It bothered me.
You're such an old man.
Why? Because I'm watching baseball?
I didn't know I was doing the show.
I'm enjoying
I didn't know I was doing the
sports.
show with Mad Dog.
Hey, Raj,
I'm
YouTube
giving you some
chat-
Bulls for those on
those
on the YouTube. I got some Bulls City edition for you.
Lord.
There you go.
Come on.
Awful.
Hey, Raj, the YouTube chat wants to know, are you going to put pickleball into the conversation with flag football and soccer?
And pickleball, it's growing. Pickleball facilities they're being sprung up all over the place.
Stinking out of this.
Being sprung up all over the place.
Yes.
Dink.
Well, there's the new movie, Dink.
The dink.
Yeah, I saw it. Apple.
Gross.
I think when my daughter goes to recess each day, she plays tetherball, little flag football, and a little soccer.
All right. See, there you go. You're a soccer guy now.
That
Raj,
does it
the
for
soccer
one-on-one.
guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Raj. Appreciate
Thank
it
you,
on
fellas.
a Monday.
Thank you.
It's Bleck Abdalla, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. Speaking of baseball, last night. I was watching the Yankees and the Phillies. Phillies won 11-4. It was a decent game. I've got a thought for you on that matchup. I was watching baseball last night. I'll tell you about it coming up next.
The wait is almost over. Starting tomorrow, every NFL team will be in training camp. Football is back, and so are the storylines. We'll keep you on top of it all. Happy football season, everybody. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Last night, watching some baseball, Abdalla. You called me old for watching baseball last evening.
No, I didn't.
I was enjoying the Phillies and the Yankees on Sunday Night Baseball.
I didn't call you old for watching baseball. I called you old for having an issue with what baseball players are wearing. There's a complete difference.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. Why is a Yankee wearing bright yellow?
Who cares?
I don't understand.
I have an issue with baseball too, but that's for another time.
Okay.
If we have time.
So I'm watching last night, Sunday Night Baseball on NBC. Take a listen to the exciting action of Major League Baseball last night. Phillies, Yankees, 11-4. Take a listen to this, Sunday Night Baseball on NBC.
John Kruk is a connoisseur of reality television.
Yeah, big one now. Binge watching.
Are you watching Love Island on Peacock?
Not anymore.
But you used to.
Yes. What happened? But now, I've watched them all. Now I'm on to Peacock's very own Married at First Sight.
And tell everybody the premise if they haven't watched it.
These three psychiatrists or whatever, they interview people and then they try to match them with what they think would be their perfect mate. Boy, do they fail miserably sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm on it, man. Season 12.
So they're using analytics to match.
Analytics, yeah, and it's a backfire sometimes.
So there you go, NBC last night. Exciting action, Phillies, Yankees, as the Phillies win 11-4. It's Benetti, it's Kruk, it's Girardi, breaking it down.
I love it.
Last night during the game. Reality television, exciting action, Major League Baseball.
Hey.
Don't miss it.
I love it. Hey, I watch crappy reality TV too.
All right, what's your go-to of the crappy reality television show?
My wife and I are big fans of the Netflix shows Love is Blind and The Ultimatum. We just finished The Ultimatum.
What's The Ultimatum? I haven't
heard
of
this. The Ultimatum is where couples go on the show and one of them has said to the other one, we need to get married, and the other one's not ready to get married. So the couples,
of course not.
so there's like 8 couples, and then they all swap. And they pick each other. They pick different couples to live with, a little swap.
Little keys in the dish.
They live with each other for 2 or 3 weeks, I think. And then they swap back with their original partner.
They only live together.
Sometimes the feelings develop. They swap back.
Okay, all right.
They swap back to see how it was and see if they can live it. And then they decide whether or not to get married at the end.
Where have I seen this this past off season in the NFL? Where have I seen that? the old swap and then they get back together.
The swap and then
situation. Where have I seen that in the NFL with a possible
if it was a swap?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
don't know
who
if
knows?
it was a swap.
It doesn't.
We didn't see the other side.
All right, that's fair. We did not. I don't think TMZ was following around the other side.
Yeah,
though.
well, we don't know.
Okay, all right. So that's the ultimatum.
That's
you
ultimatum.
get to swap for a moment, and then you go back, and then you see if you want to stick.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's on Netflix.
That's on Netflix. Yeah.
Our house, we are a Bravo household.
Okay.
So like I'm up to date through just being in the room while these shows are on and passing through. And I'm talking about Vanderpump Rules, Summer House, Below Deck. Those are the shows that are usually on.
This is
the
what
Black
happens
household
when there's not football on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got Kruk at a baseball game telling us about Love is Blind or whatever shows that are taking place on Peacock.
This is different than Love is Blind is different than.
What was he saying? Or the other one that that I always walk into the room of at my house is I'll walk in and it will be the show. From what is it? It's 90 Day Fiance.
Oh yeah, 90 Day Fiance.
And then they have 90 Day the other way.
I was gonna say which way, the right way or the other way?
Well, the other way is where the Americans are going
they go
overseas.
Yeah.
And then deciding to live overseas. So I get a lot of that as well. Those are not as good as the Bravo shows, I would say.
Yeah.
But yes, they're out there. But yes, Kruk. On Sunday Night Baseball, giving us...
You got to watch something.
Yes, well, of course, you can watch baseball. What's wrong with baseball?
You think he's watching baseball? Well,
he might be. I think that's the key, is you can text the show, 310-840-4910, What's the best guilty pleasure reality TV show? Right? Because you listed off some good ones. Now, I've never really watched Love is Blind. I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
I've seen her watch it.
Yeah.
But I've never sat down and watched it.
I'll tell you this. It is very rare, having watched many seasons of Love is Blind, it is very rare that love is actually blind.
Oh, so you're saying that when they see each other and they realize, oh, you're not what I thought you would be?
I'll say that Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey have struck out many times on Love is Blind with their show that they're running here.
Oh, they're the ones that run
host. Yeah, they host it. Yeah, they're the producers. They host it.
They produce it?
Well, yeah, it's their entity. It's that and The Ultimatum. They're the ones.
Okay.
It's Nick Lachey. Yeah.
All right.
98 Degrees.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for Nick Lachey. That's great.
Yeah. Do I have time to pick a bone with baseball?
Sure. Why don't we do this first? Let's take a quick look around baseball presented by NHTSA. When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit. Keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Jacob Mizorowski now has each of the 36 fastest strikeouts by starting pitchers under pitch tracking since 2008. Yesterday, he tied for the fastest at 104.5 miles per hour. Yesterday he did that again, and also maybe he'll be in Cooperstown one day. This is what I wanted to talk about, Cooperstown.
Okay.
So yesterday, Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran, and Jeff Kent were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Did anybody know? Did anybody watch? No. You want to know why? Because baseball games were happening.
Yeah,
why
sure.
does the Hall of Fame have their induction while baseball games are going on? It's the most ridiculous thing in all of sports. The NFL Hall of Fame is about to have their induction ceremony, and they have the Hall of Fame game. You know when they do it? Before the season starts. The MLB All-Stars has an All-Star break. Why doesn't the Hall of Fame do their induction during the All-Star break? People would watch. People would attend. I don't understand why baseball does this every single year. Fans had no idea this was going on. This is ridiculous.
It's a quick look around baseball presented by NHTSA. When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit. Keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA. Yes.
Sorry.
Abdalla doesn't get it. I'm with you. Do we know who's going to start for the Browns at quarterback? We'll talk about it next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will be in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
That's right, Bleck and Abdalla. Right here on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, Sirius XM Channel 375, and all of our great radio affiliates around the country. I'm Chris Bleck along with Adam Abdalla, broadcasting live from downtown Chicago, on the air until 3 Eastern, and then we'll hand it off to Jim Rome right here on Westwood One Sports. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. You know, I saw this video over the weekend, Abdalla, and I wonder, did we get tipped off? Do we know who will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns based off of what Jerry Jeudy posted on a live stream on TikTok over the weekend? The live stream, a user, a person watching asks Jeudy, who do you want to be the starting quarterback to be? And then in the video that's circulating around online, Jeudy is showing a 4, which would then go along with Deshaun Watson's jersey number, and that's what he would want as the starting quarterback for this upcoming season for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, but the video's been edited. There's like a jump. There's like a if you watch the video, if you slow the video down, and then you need to slow it down. You can watch it. There's from when the question is posed.
Yep.
And he goes to answer it. There's like a cut. Like you can clearly see a cut. So whoever edited this video or put together this TikTok or whatever and put this out clearly edited the video and put it together to look like this.
Yeah, I mean, he does flash 4.
Okay, so it could be an answer to a different question.
No, of course it could.
Or it could be, hold on. What number does Shedeur wear? 2? Does he wear 2?
Isn't it 12?
12?
Didn't we just see all the pictures in the driveway?
He was 12 last season, but he's switching to 2 this season.
He's wearing 2. Yeah, because I'm looking at a picture of the 2 of them together. So he could be going.
So in the picture, what was that picture from?
So he could be saying 2 or 4, and the person just cut out him saying him going 2 and going right to 4. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So he could have. I mean, I know he came out and said that it's being misrepresented. What he said is being misrepresented. And I think we already do know who's going to be the starter based on what we've seen, at least from OTAs. We haven't really we haven't gone through the motions of training camp yet. We will here for the next month until the season starts.
Browns report tomorrow.
Exactly. So we will get updates from training camp. There will be the training camp tracker, just like we got the OTA tracker.
Oh, no.
Of what happens on a day-to-day basis between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders.
No, I don't want to track this every day.
We don't have to.
I'm not doing this.
But
I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
Easy, Monken. Easy.
If it goes just based on money, Watson will start. But if it goes based on performance and they're playing on an even playing field because Todd Monken came in off his sweet haircut, he doesn't have a tie to either of these guys. It doesn't matter to him who starts because more than likely at the end of this season, one of them's not going to be here. The other one might be a backup to whoever they end up drafting at the end of this season. They traded Myles Garrett. They've got the extra draft pick. They can use both their first-round picks to move up wherever they end up at the end of the season in the draft and draft their next quarterback. So either way, it's probably going to be Watson that's out. If Shedeur Sanders is here as a starter next year, that's the perfect scenario for them. If he's not, he's here as a backup. Fine scenario for them. If he's not on the team, whatever scenario for them too. So if that's the case, then Shedeur earns the job. I think at some point Shedeur is going to start. Whether it's the start of the season, middle of the season, towards the end of the season, they're going to want to see what Shedeur Sanders brings before they make a decision on him towards the end of the season or at the end of the season when they're figuring out their roster for the 27 season.
Yeah, and I think like when you look at the conversation also, what I was thinking of was, do you remember last week when the picture came out from Shedeur Sanders taking the photo in his driveway with all the jerseys?
Mm-hmm.
Was the reasoning behind having all the 12 jerseys there is he had to buy out his jerseys to then switch his number? Isn't that how it works in the NFL? If you want to switch your number, you have to buy out the stock of all of the jerseys that were already produced with that number. Is that why he had all the 12s?
Maybe.
For that photo shoot?
Yeah, maybe.
All right, because I was like, I'm not crazy. He just took a photo with the number 12. And all the jerseys are laid out in the driveway. You remember the picture that kind of went viral last week?
All these pictures have him in a number 2 jersey at OTAs and stuff. So I also think that, if he goes out there and plays well, I mean, Judy doesn't really have a say in who's out there.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
I also think that they were, they've been handling it really well. Watson and Shedeur Sanders have been practicing together in the offseason. It's not like this isn't like a back and forth that's heated. Like this is they're working together and may the best quarterback win and gets to start.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this moment there's a couple of things about it, right? Like obviously the money. It would be beneficial for the Cleveland Browns to get the most out of Watson because they're paying him the most. So if he can be the guy, that's great. It would also be beneficial for the Cleveland Browns if Shedeur Sanders turned into a great quarterback, because boom, that solves the problem. They have their answer for the future. That's the guy. I don't think either are going to take place. And what I mean by that is I don't think Watson will get to the level that he used to be as far as a starting quarterback in the NFL. So you're going to be paying a high-priced player to be an average at best quarterback. So that's with Watson. And then with Shedeur Sanders, I mean, he started 8 games last year. He had a completion percentage of 56.6. He threw for 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, quarterback rating of 68.1. And I'm pretty sure, didn't we look it up like a week ago that the 68.1 quarterback rating is like the lowest quarterback rating for a guy who started more than a couple of games last season?
Among qualified QBs, yes.
In the entire National Football League?
It was like more than 40 some odd QBs or something like that.
Right. Like there are guys who are non-starters who are well above Sanders. So again, young player developing. It could turn into something. I'm guessing it's not likely to turn into something unless something really changes here in training camp. It's just such a difficult thing to do, splitting reps and having one guy who's the vet and one guy who's the challenging player, who's the rookie, who needs the more development to essentially kind of go through and, play to a point where he is developing still while also splitting reps with Deshaun Watson. Like it's one of those things, right? Like the easiest solution for the Browns would be start Sanders and just not have Watson even be on the team. But that's not realistic for this situation. And also you have a new head coach. So the new head coach wants to win. You got to win right away. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case, but it's also Todd Monken. And many coaches turn down the Browns for this gig. And he's kind of someone who's been like an afterthought as far as a head coach candidate goes. He's gotten passed up many times.
Yeah.
So, like, you're not setting in for, hey, this is going to be a 5-year build. Like, this is going to have to be something where the offense is significantly better in this upcoming season because of Monken and because of the quarterback play to kind of move forward. You don't have a lot of time here. And so that's why, like, ideally for the franchise, if Sanders could turn into a star, it answers a lot of their questions. It really does. I find that hard to believe that that's what's going to take place, especially with splitting reps in training camp, and especially if Watson's going to be the guy starting from day one.
I just don't think that either of these guys are going to be are going to be the starter next season. Neither of these guys are going to be in their future plans, and I think that they know that. I think that you're looking at a team right now.
Who knows that? The Browns know that, or the guys? Because I don't think Shedeur Sanders knows that.
The Browns know that.
I think I think in his head it goes Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Shedeur Sanders, and then the rest of the league.
I think you're being generous putting Mahomes and Allen up there too.
I think he thinks he's the main draw. He's the main event.
Right now on DraftKings, promo code BNA26. Their win total is set at 5.5.
Yep.
So if they win 6 games, they're picking top 10-ish range. They've got 2 first-round picks. I would presume they have a good defense, and obviously Myles Garrett is not there. They make the trade. They acquire Jared Verse, getting him back for Myles Garrett with a ton of picks. Jared Verse is not Myles Garrett, but he's still a very strong piece, much younger, someone that you can also build around. They still have a very, very good defense. If you're only winning 6 games or 5 games, it is because your offense is not good and your defense is winning you those 5 or 6 games, most likely.
Yeah.
We saw Shedeur Sanders play last season for the handful of games he did, and we've seen when Deshaun Watson is healthy, what he's able to do and what he's not able to do. And this is not Deshaun Watson from a few years ago before he was suspended for an entire year and before he got hurt and has been a shell of himself. So this has been a guy who can't perform like he was able to 4 or 5 years ago. So I don't think this is a team that has their quarterback for next season on their roster yet. And they know that, which is why they moved on from Myles Garrett, because they know that they're not a team that's ready to compete this year or even probably for a division title or anything like that next season, which is why they made the move. They don't want a guy who's, yes, he set the sack record last season, and he's probably going to hit double-digit sacks again this year, but they don't want a guy who's in the last handful of seasons in his career with a team that's only going to win 5 or 6 games. He's on a different trajectory in his career than the Browns are. They're still building. He's ready to win championships, which is why they traded him away and got Jared Verse, who's still young and you can build around. So I'm thinking how they are. You've got 2 first-round picks you can trade up to top 3, 4 and get your quarterback, and you're looking at a future where Deshaun Watson is no longer on this team, Shedeur Sanders, you make a decision with him, you find out what you have this season. Second year, you figure it out. Is he a backup? Is he a starter? Is he even on this roster? And you move on, or you move forward with him as a backup, and you're drafting your quarterback of the future. And that's why you got a second first-round pick in this to move up in the draft.
And the reason we're talking about the Cleveland Browns right now, there was a TikTok video that was posted. There was a live stream that Jerry Jeudy was on. He was asked by someone on the live stream, who do you want to be your starting quarterback? He flashes 4 fingers on the live stream. People took that as making the reference to Deshaun Watson. Jerry Jeudy then to the media, yesterday, told them, or he went online, he went on Twitter, and he posted, y'all cut the clip perfectly for that narrative. And Abdalla did point out that there is a cut. So unless you were actually watching the live stream to put together whether or not it was flashing the 4 while addressing who should be the quarterback, Abdalla thinks it was clipped together. And that's what Jerry Jeudy is saying, is that it was clipped together.
I'm going to take him at his word because there's proof that it was edited together.
Well, you can clearly see there's a jump in the video. You can clearly see that.
I want the full Snyder cut released.
You want the full release?
I want the full 8-hour Snyder cut released.
You want the whole thing released?
I'm gonna go out to Woodridge, Illinois.
Oh yeah, where they have the only IMAX and 70 millimeter.
I'm gonna watch this whole Jerry Jeudy video in 70 millimeter IMAX, and I want the full Nolan Snyder cut. That's what I want.
You saw The Odyssey over the weekend.
I did.
Do you feel enlightened now that you've come to this side and seen the film?
Yeah, I mean, there's BO and there's AO. There's before Odyssey and there's after Odyssey. I feel like before Friday, I reeked of BO.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. As someone that sits with you every day, yes, you did.
I reeked of BO. And now I am fully AO. I'm after Odyssey, and now I can talk about it. I can converse with everybody else. I feel elevative.
Yeah. It's
a higher conscience. Is what it is. Yeah.
You really see the world differently.
You do. You have a different sense of purpose after you watch.
You have
Christopher Nolan's Odyssey.
You have a need to go home.
Yeah. I feel like to avenge something.
Were you surprised? Kind of a dog movie.
Yeah.
It's a dog movie.
Yeah, a little bit of a Homeward Bound.
Yeah, it's
type of a Lassie feel.
Got a dog moment in the film. I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, listen, the story's been around for 3,000 years. There's a famous painting of it in a museum. So like, I don't think I'm spoiling anything.
Episode of Futurama.
Yeah, I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying there's a major dog moment in the film. But it was enjoyable to see. Your lasting image, like what? Because like I saw it last Thursday. Yeah. I want to see it again. Do you want to see it again?
I'll probably. Yeah.
I mean, that was lukewarm.
I probably will. Look, I mean, I probably won't see it again, but I would like to see it again.
Well, that's what we're asking.
Yeah, but I probably won't.
Well, okay.
Like, I'm not going to rush out. My instant reaction wasn't, man.
Why don't we go right after the show?
I want to sit in a theater again for 3 hours and sit through.
Text your wife right now. Say that Raj scheduled a meeting after the show.
She wouldn't care.
We're going to do we're going to listen back to the full show.
Yeah.
Full air check session. Let's go, boys.
They'll give us the coverage of the 3 hours.
Yeah.
And we'll just pop over. There's a theater right next door to where we're sitting.
Well, that's not a problem because
let's pop right over.
We're done at 2 Central here, so by the time I got home, she would be getting home. So it wouldn't really.
Well,
she wouldn't know.
Well, okay.
She doesn't listen.
What's stopping you?
Nothing.
Well,
the problem
he's stopping himself. He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Here's my problem, and this might be my Andy Rooney old man rant here.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Why don't people write letters anymore?
What's the deal with the Postal Service?
Why are there 25 minutes of previews?
First of all,
before a movie.
Can we also add
this is ridiculous.
A tip of the cap to I guarantee half of our audience has no idea the reference we're even making with Andy Rooney.
To Andy Rooney?
Do you realize how long ago he stopped having those
On 60 Minutes?
Little end of 60 Minutes commentaries.
All right, fine. You know what really grinds my gears? Is that better? The Family Guy reference? Is that better?
I'm just letting people know what we're talking about.
I got a bone to pick.
So what's your issue?
25 minutes of previews.
Well, yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I understand it, but we're at a point that it was different when that was your only way to see previews. The problem is I've seen all of these before I got to the theater. I saw all of these. I saw Other Mommy, which for the problem, Other Mother was right there. Okay. Also, I saw the Jason Statham one for whatever that movie is called, and also another title that should have been named another movie. The person who made it's called Mutiny with Jason Statham.
Okay.
It's from the makers of Train. Why didn't they call the movie Boat? Why not? It's right there.
So the trailers, the coming attractions were too long for you.
25 minutes?
That's your takeaway of seeing the Odyssey this weekend.
I've seen all of those trailers before I walked into that theater. Why do I need to sit through them again?
Show up a little later.
That's not the point.
Yes, it is the point.
I just got off.
Sit there on your phone.
I just got off the World Cup. That 2 o'clock meant 2 o'clock.
Well, that's not how the rest of the world operates.
I want it to. Fresh off the World Cup. Okay, when I show up for a 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock movie, I want that thing to mean 6 o'clock. All right? You give me one commercial, tell me to get my refreshments, turn off my phone, and the Odyssey begins.
You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. It's Bleck and Abdalla. Our favorite texter from the 336 says, don't worry about the Andy Rooney reference. The 10 listeners that you have don't really matter.
Okay, to be fair, he said Andy Rudy. So
Rudy?
Yeah.
Like the football player?
Andy Rudy.
He's gonna make the team.
Andy Rudy.
Put me in, coach. Rudy.
Andy Rudy.
Oh, the best. It's Bleck and Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We have the summer of football coming up next. Which non-quarterback in the NFL has the best chance to win the MVP? We'll talk about it next.
1 week until the MLB trade deadline. Buyers, sellers, contenders, pretenders. Who could be on the move? The lines are about to be drawn. Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the Tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
Every team in the NFL will report to training camp tomorrow. We have a couple already in, but everyone will be in camp tomorrow as back to football week is underway here. And as we count down the days to the end of the summer and the start of the football season each day here on the show, we bring to you a segment we call the Summer of Football.
I proclaim this the Summer of
Football!
What the hell's going on out here? We're going to be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party.
Only Brett Favre could do that. I don't care what you say.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
We need a National Guard. We need as many men as you can spare because we are killing the Patriots.
The Summer of Football with Bleck and Abdalla.
I throw, you catch. It's not that hard, okay?
Westwood One Sports, your home for the NFL, including the opener, Seahawks, Patriots, now 44 days away.
Man.
As we count down the days of the summer, heading towards the opener of the NFL season. 44 days.
Nuts.
Yeah, it is. So today, day 44, NFL.com has a column up there. They have two columns up, the same topic for each, one for the AFC, one for the NFC. Picking a non-quarterback possibility for MVP for every single team. We're not going to go through every single team's possible guy that could be an MVP who's not a quarterback. And we also know that this exercise is somewhat silly because the MVP award has turned into only being a quarterback award.
Oh, that's upsetting.
That's what it's turned into.
No, I thought you were going to go into this whole like serious debate of like what players, and you were going to name the defensive players, and you were going to name running backs and wide receivers. Are going to be like, that's cute. That's not going to happen.
No, there are two awards in football, one for college, one for professional, that essentially they have turned into quarterback awards. It's the MVP of the NFL, and it's the Heisman Trophy. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, those two awards are for all of the league, for every player on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just quarterbacks.
The closest I think that the Heisman could have come would have been Devontae Smith a couple years ago, and Will Anderson a few years before that. Both Alabama players, both very deserving, and I think they got pretty close, you know?
Yeah, Devontae Smith was the last non-quarterback to win the award.
Yeah.
That was in 2020.
Yeah.
Before that, you have to go back to 2015 for Derrick Henry, running back, to win the award. And then before Henry, you have to go back to 2009 to find Mark Ingram.
Yeah, Travis Hunter in 2024.
So you're essentially, if you go from, I misread. Hunter, obviously, both ways. Defense, offense for Colorado at 24. But, so we've got, if we go all the way back to Reggie Bush in 2005, you have Mark Ingram, you have Derrick Henry, you have Devontae Smith, and Travis Hunter.
But think of like
four players in 20 years.
Think of how special they have. Like Travis Hunter had to play both directions.
Yeah.
For him to win.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith had to have an insane year where he basically split votes with his quarterback to win the award.
Yep.
Like, you have to have insane numbers to win the award if you're not a quarterback. Like, Arch Manning is the favorite this year for the Heisman, I would imagine. And he's probably, like, unless something crazy happens, he's probably going to win. I would imagine all
Raj,
the favorites.
Easy, Raj. We get it. You're parts unknown Colorado. Travis Hunter in 2004. Easy, Raj. We see it. We got it.
But you have to go. You basically.
We got to.
You basically have to name.
Don't be forgetting parts unknown out here, Black.
You basically
big buffs out there.
Have to name every.
Is that what Buffalo
quarterback.
fans say?
Big buff.
Hey, you're a big buff.
You big buff.
We say Sco Buffs.
Sco Buffs.
That's disgusting.
Sco Buffs.
You basically have to name every quarterback in the NFL before you get to a running back for odds here on DraftKings.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson is the first running back. And it's every single quarterback on DraftKings except for Aaron Rodgers and Tyler Shuck. Before you get to Bijan Robinson. Everyone else is on the MVP award.
And they have the same odds as him. They're both 100 to 1, just like he is.
Right. So you could look like Cam Ward is ahead, CJ Stroud, Jackson Dart, Bo Nix, Kyler Murray, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts. So MVPs, non-quarterback MVP options. Some of the possibilities. I think there's one that when you say this topic, who's someone that could win the MVP who's not a quarterback in the NFL? The number one name that jumped out to me would be Myles Garrett, because Myles Garrett is such a dominating player that if somehow he was able to break his sack record from last year and do even more and lead the Rams to be the best team in football, heading towards a Super Bowl, I could see a story behind that. I could see it. I don't think it's likely to happen, but to me, he is the one non-quarterback player I think that can make a case based on being the best player in football.
I think it has to be an offensive player. And I think specifically the way you're looking at the odds, it has to be a running back. I think it has to be a guy who's carrying their team when their quarterback can't. And if you look at it, you look at Bijan Robinson for the Falcons with a team that has two quarterbacks who can't stay healthy, in Tua Tagovailoa and Michael Penix. And guys that we don't know who's going to start right now because they're battling it out for the starter. And we also don't know how long that starter is going to stay healthy. We might see both guys for half the year each, right? Like, whoever starts might not last past week 4 or 5 because Penix can't play the whole year and Tua might not play the whole year. So it might come down to someone who is consistently good throughout the entire season and puts a team like 2 years ago, Saquon Barkley. Made a case.
Hell of a year.
Made a case.
Yeah, you're right.
That he could have been named MVP because he was that Eagles offense. But then you could say, all right, is the offensive line, like how do you really put into perspective? Because we saw last season, after some changes on that offensive line, some injuries to that offensive line, Saquon wasn't the same. So, like, how do you put into perspective what a running back is doing and what he brings to the team? That's why I think a quarterback is so easy to give the MVP to, because he's doing it all. Like, if the way we started today talking about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and how Patrick Mahomes has been fully cleared to do everything in training camp and start the season fully healthy after tearing the ACL, if they win their division, and he looks just like vintage Patrick Mahomes, and he's putting up great numbers, and he turns these wide receivers into Pro Bowler, like legit Pro Bowlers, not whatever it means now, like legit stars.
Not the sham of
a
flag football event that they put on now.
Of whatever they put on now. If he turns them into all pros, right? Like, then okay. Like, Mahomes has got a shot, right? Like, Mahomes could be like that's a shot, right? Mahomes is also 10-1. He's got the fourth best odds. So to me, if I had to pick a guy, like, Bijan's the best option because you look for a guy where the quarterback instability, you know? Like, I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs is a good option. That's 120-1. But because Goff is so steady as a quarterback, right? Like I know Gibbs does a lot, but Goff is never hurt.
Yeah.
He's so steady as a quarterback. Like, I don't think anybody's going to give Gibbs that award.
Yeah.
Can I give you guys a wild if? Can I give you a wild if
Sure.
to Abdalla's point?
Sure.
When you were mentioning the Heisman thing of what Hunter had to do. This is a big if that I'm going to throw out there. But if Travis Hunter became a legit, like, number one receiver, think a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase type player, while simultaneously becoming a number one corner like a Patrick Surtain or a Sauce Gardner, playing both sides of the ball full time at that level, and Jacksonville was good, could that be enough to sway voters off of a quarterback?
Yeah, I think it could, Raj. I just don't think that's going to happen.
It's not I'm like,
yeah.
that's pie in the sky, but I'm just trying to think, that seems like what it would take to get him off of a quarterback.
You're completely right.
No, you're right. I think it would. I think that certainly could be the case. I mean, let's just go, for example, I'm going to look at the voting from 1994. And I'm guessing. Yeah, well, I guess.
Paper ballots.
No, I guessed correctly. Based on what Raj just said, I was trying to think of what's the comp. The comp would be Deion.
Deion, right?
Deion, yeah.
And Deion finished fourth in the voting in 1994.
Wow.
I did not think, I just was guessing.
Yeah.
So I clicked on 94. Steve Young won the MVP.
Yeah.
He had 74 votes. Barry Sanders had 22.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice had 1.
Yeah.
And Deion had 1.
And Deion was teammates with Steve Young. So in theory, that's splitting the vote.
So I mean, I'll move forward. Let's go to 95. Let's see. 95 did not receive a vote. Let me go backwards. Let's try 93. 93.
So Deion's
did not
best
get a vote
season
either.
as a receiver was 96 in Dallas. That's the one year he has like some numbers to kind of point to, and it's not a lot.
Then. Yeah,
36 catches for about
He didn't get
500.
a vote in 96. The only players that got votes in 96 were Favre, who won it. Elway was second. Terrell Davis was third. And Jerome Bettis was fourth. With that said, like, Raj is right. If he were able to play both ways and be the best at his position both ways, he would absolutely be in the conversation for MVP. And I think also a part of the exercise, which is different in the NFL to college football, is actually college football has been a little bit more accepting about giving the Heisman to non-quarterbacks. You know, in the last...
Well, I think it's because there's with, like you mentioned, Myles Garrett, because they'll just say, we'll give him Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, I mean, but look at the NFL MVP. You have to scan to find a running back. You have to scan. The first one you come across in the past would be 2012, Adrian Peterson with the Vikings.
Yep.
Then you drop back to 2006, LaDainian Tomlinson. There was actually back-to-back non-quarterbacks because in 2005, Sean Alexander with the Seahawks won it. So,
what a
you know,
time to be alive.
in the 20 years, college football had 4. The NFL had 3. But I think you're on to something with it having to be a running back, though.
Yeah.
To that
Because
point about
wide
the year
receivers-
Hunter won the Heisman, it was actually a super close voting with he and Ashton Genty. I think if Ashton Genty was in a bigger conference, he probably would have won.
Probably.
I think just people held those numbers against him because he was at Boise, so they gave it to Hunter because he played
I think
both
if he would have been
sides.
in a better conference too, I don't know if he would have been putting up those.
He may not have been putting up those
That's a
numbers.
fair
Yeah.
Can I give you 2 picks?
Yeah, go ahead.
For actual MVP?
Sure.
On DraftKings. These are the odds on DraftKings. If you're going to sign up with DraftKings, use promo code BNDay26. Please.
Shout out.
We appreciate it.
Shout out.
So, real pick and long shot pick.
Okay, real pick, long shot pick.
Real pick.
Yep.
You're going to like this because I know we're very high on this team. We're both very high on this team. Dak Prescott, 13-1. Dak Prescott, 13-1.
I like that.
My long shot pick, and this is going to warm the hearts of someone else on the show. 35-1, Bo Nix.
Oh, Bo Nix.
I like it.
35-1.
I like it.
35-1.
All
You
right.
add Jalen Waddle. You got the best offensive line in the NFL. You've got another year with Sean Payton. You add Jalen Waddle to that mix. You're going to give me 35-1 to a team that was in the AFC Championship game with a quarterback who broke his ankle and if he played, could have gone to the Super Bowl. Come on. 35-1? Come on.
Yeah, those are good odds. I agree with you. I like that.
That's a long shot. I'm not saying he's going to win. But that's a long shot.
Yeah, long shot. I would say long shot pick. Would you put Trevor Lawrence into the long
That's a
shot
good one, too.
category?
Yeah.
He's
22-1?
Yeah, 22-1. I would say, what's also, you mentioned Dak Prescott. Caleb Williams has the same odds as Dak Prescott.
He does.
So, it's good conversation. I don't think there's any actual non-quarterbacks that will win it.
No.
Some of the other names are notable, like Trey Hendrickson joining a new team here in the offseason with the Ravens, A.J. Brown with the Patriots. The problem with wide receivers is you need service, and then the credit goes to the quarterback.
But that's what they have Offensive Player of the Year for. They have their award.
Yeah, but it's not the same as the MVP.
I know, but I think that's what writers do and journalists do is they say you have your award, it's Offensive Player of the Year.
Well, that's lame.
I understand it's lame, but that's why they've made that award. They made that award for that.
Abdalla makes this just like great point, and Bleck's just like, yo, that's lame.
Well, it's true.
Okay, sorry.
It's true. That's how I feel.
That's what they did. I'm sorry.
We were talking earlier. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. I read the texter who was unhappy with the program from the 336.
Yeah.
We referenced earlier Andy Rooney from 60 Minutes back in the day. We were making a joke. It was funny. You missed it, check the pod. He texted the show saying, don't worry about Andy Rooney. The reference, the 10 listeners, it doesn't matter for your show. Okay. He then responded by saying, thank you for reading my response. There will be no more Abdalla jokes.
Hey, do.
He calls you I don't get it. No more Abdalla jokes. I do wish you good luck with your show. It's not all that bad. How about that? It's not all that. Did we just flip someone?
Like
We're not all
Did we
that
just
bad.
flip someone?
Not all that bad.
All right. How about that? One person at a time. The Bleck Abdalla Show. Not all that bad. Yes.
Put that on a shirt.
How about that? Look at us on a Monday feeling good. How amazing is that?
I love it.
That's all it took.
Not all
there
that
you go.
bad. Yeah.
We got another one. Hell yeah. Guy from the 336. You can always call or text the show at 310-840-4910. It's Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. Is Patrick Mahomes ready to go for training camp? We'll tell you next.
The NBA has reshaped in one summer. LeBron and Jaylen Brown are in Philly. Giannis is headed to Miami. Paul George is a Celtic. And that's just the Eastern Conference. Who will challenge the Knicks for the NBA crown? Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 3 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 2 minutes. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute, 30 seconds. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 1 minute. Stations, this is your final time check. At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 30 seconds.
This is Bleck and Abdalla on Westwood One Sports. Here's Chris Bleck and Adam Abdalla.
If you missed any portion of today's podcast, check it out on Apple and Spotify. Also, our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Our live stream is up and running each and every show. Bleck and Abdalla Show. Like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you to Raj and Roy for producing today's show. Jim Rome coming up in 13 minutes right here on Westwood One Sports. Kansas City Chiefs report to training camp tomorrow. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are already there, ready to go. as practice beginning this week. This is Andy Reid talking about Mahomes. Is he ready? Is he cleared to participate in practice?
Pat's doing great with his, and right now he's got clearance to practice and do all the different periods that we have in this camp, and then we'll just take it day by day and see how he does. He'll have plenty of eyes on him, from coaches to trainers to doctors. So, but right now he's been cleared to go ahead and participate full.
All right, good and great first step for from Andy Reid on Patrick Mahomes. If he's ready to participate for the start of camp, then there's nothing that's going to hold him unless he re-aggravates something or gets hurt in camp. He's going to be the starter week 1 for Kansas City when the season kicks off.
Absolutely, he will be. And look, the Chiefs are a team that plays their players in the preseason, for like a series or two. But Mahomes has always been a guy, as much of a veteran and champion that he's been, likes to go out there and get a feel for the start of the season, get a feel for the rhythm of games before the actual game starts, whether it's a series or two or a quarter. He goes out there and he plays. Now, whether that's changed because of the injury, we'll find out. Or if he doesn't want to re-aggravate it or something, well, like Andy Reid said, they're going to take it day by day. But it's good that he's going to be ready to go. My only hesitation for my evaluation of the Chiefs and where I have them finishing at the end of the season has nothing to do with his injury. It has to do with their roster and what receivers he has and their lack of talent that they've assembled around Patrick Mahomes. And this is one of the worst supporting casts he's had since he's been in Kansas City. And I just don't think that they have enough compared to what the Broncos have assembled. And I just gave out that I think that, Bo Nix for long shot MVP at 35-1. You add, Jalen Waddle. You've got the best offensive line in the NFL. I like what the Chargers have added and what they've done to kind of tinker with their offensive line and bringing in Mike McDaniel as a offensive coordinator and what he's going to bring. And I like what they're doing and how their run game is going to change. So I think that right now I have them finishing third in their division. Has nothing to do. I still think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be 1A, 1B when it comes to the best quarterbacks in the NFL. It has everything to do with the lack of talent that they've put around him so far this year.
Yeah, and it's clearly a spot where, what it feels like a little bit to me, because it's not a perfect comparison because Mahomes has a lot more of his career ahead of him than the player that I'm going to mention. Because the player I'm going to mention is heading towards the end of his career. But the supporting cast around that player, that star, feels a lot alike to me. It's cross-sport comparison, so brace yourself.
How dare you?
But it feels very much the way that Golden State is handling Steph Curry. And Patrick Mahomes is now entering the season where he has to do it all himself. And he can kind of still do that, right? Like, he still is in his prime. And he's going to have a long career ahead of himself. And Hall of Fame head coach. And it just feels like those supporting players are kind of, the level of play around him is not the same. And that's what we've seen from Steph the last couple of years is Steph Curry can still play at the highest level. He's even battled injuries the last couple of years and can still get it done. But those around him are no longer what they once were. And so it feels like in both situations, neither team can win a championship this year. Chiefs fans think that they can win a championship. They're going to be lucky to make the playoffs because, like you said, in their division, you have them third. I have them third as well. I don't have them making the playoffs as of today before the training camp starts and before we get into the actual season.
Look, maybe they come out and they've got a great offensive line and going out and paying a bunch of money for Kenneth Walker from the Seahawks changes everything, and that's what they're relying on. And maybe we discounted talking about Kenneth Walker as a potential MVP candidate, and that's going to be the guy that they rely on, but he can't catch, he can't block, and all he's going to be doing is running the football. But my problem is Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Tyquan Thornton, and Travis Kelce just aren't enough. Travis Kelce might be in his last year. Like, we saw him. He's 2 steps slower than he used to be. Like, he's just not the same guy.
Is there any new news on his jersey? Have you looked into this?
What jersey?
It's about Bleck Abdalla investigation.
On his jersey?
On his jersey.
No, I haven't seen anything yet.
Is he going to switch the jersey to T Swift?
To so he can sell more jerseys?
Yeah,
No,
T Swift to sell the most jerseys in the history of the NFL.
God, are you kidding me? The numbers that would do?
Takes her name and throws it on the back of the jersey.
Well, and if anybody can afford to buy all the jerseys that are out there, it would be them.
She can. Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
She can rent out Madison Square Garden for her
fill them up
for her play wedding, whatever that was. The phony wedding.
It was a real wedding.
Come on. You read the articles afterwards. Everyone's looking at it like
it was a real wedding. They got officially married.
Congrats with their good friend Adam Sandler.
They still got married.
Who they both met twice.
They still got married.
Could you imagine someone that you just really don't know officiating your wedding?
If Dean Blandino's there, it's a real wedding.
Although, who am I talking? I mean, we got married in a church by a priest who I met only a couple of times. So I guess it's the same thing.
I met the guy who married us once before.
I guess
the guy that married us.
You had the backup
showed
guy.
Up I had the backup to the backup guy marry us because 2 guys canceled on us the week before.
So who are we talking?
Who am I talking about?
Maybe Sandler is a well-known person.
Sandler would have been a better option. Sandler would have been the best option for my wedding. Are you kidding me?
Same. Oh, that's a good point. I mean, I do understand. Some people know.
I would have taken one of his friends.
Nick Swartzen?
Sure. What are those guys? Where's David Spade when I need him?
No, Spade's busy. He's recording. He's recording a podcast somewhere.
Okay, all right. He's got a podcast?
Yes, he has a podcast.
No way.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I think he's with Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey can officiate anything in my life.
What about the other guy? Who's the other guy that's in all the movies?
Rob Schneider?
Yeah, Schneider. He could have been it.
No thanks.
What's wrong with Schneider?
I don't want Rob Schneider.
You don't want him to?
No, thank you.
Jim Rome's coming up next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
At the tone, the broadcast will begin in 4 minutes, 30 seconds.